We have an upgraded severe weather risk for today. So we saw that slight risk earlier on the board. Now we officially have an enhanced risk, a level 3 risk for storms today. So there you go. There is your enhanced risk, a level 3 risk across the northern portion of Missouri, southern Iowa into Illinois today. That is a brand new upgrade coming from the Storm Prediction Center just a few minutes ago. So let's break down the hazards here. We are talking about a hail risk today, and you know, if you've seen this model before, what you're watching for is you're watching for those darker oranges and maybe even some red hues to mix in for large hail. So we're talking about hail sizes right here. Honestly, not terribly impressive today. That's why I said that the biggest risks are going to be tornado and wind risk today, because could we get a few ping pongs squeezed out a few of these areas today? I think it's possible, sure. But I think for the most part, we're going to be talking about pocket change hail today. What does that mean? It means quarter size and smaller, penny, dime, nickel sized for a lot of these places today. So don't get your hopes up whenever you see these colors pop up on the board. I'm not guaranteeing a hail risk for today or a significant hail risk for today. I'm saying it's possible, but there are other risks that need to be talked about more. So let's get to hail and then we'll get to wind and tornado. Okay, so here's a look at your max forecasted hail size for today. Ping pong ball size hail likely. We're talking about 1.5 inch size hail. Again, that'll be pretty isolated. Most of the other hailstones are going to be a little bit smaller. You know how this goes, right? So where are we watching for that largest hailstone? Well, I think that Kansas City and Des Moines, Iowa have some of the best chances right in here for those larger hailstones. Your chance goes down pretty significantly as you go farther out to the east into places like Chicago and Michigan. Minnesota, pretty low chance for hail today. However, we do have a little area in here that is trying to bring in some larger hailstones. We'll see if that actually happens. I kept you guys in the low category for hail today. And Amarillo, we are watching for Amarillo storms as well. So Amarillo, we could see some storms, really heavy rain in this area, but we could also see some large hail. Large is just kind of stretching it. I would say probably that $50 size to maybe up to ping pong ball size. Very, very isolated out in Amarillo. How are we on mic? Is our mic good right now? Yeah, we feel good about it? Okay, let's move on then. Let's go into that tornado forecast for today. So one of the reasons that the Storm Prediction Center upgraded the risk from a slight to an enhanced risk is because of the tornado risk right across the western portion of Illinois and eastern portion of Iowa. Now we now have a level 3 tornado risk for today across Moline, Illinois, and I hope I'm saying that correctly here. But we also have that level 2 risk across Des Moines and into Chicago, and then even a level 1 across Milwaukee and Kansas City. So what we're watching for today, of course, is the pretty significant tornado risk and a wind risk on top of that. So I do think that we're going to see some pretty significant wind speeds out of these storms today into the afternoon and evening hours tonight. Most of these storms will come in while you are still awake. Most of them will be out of your path before you go to sleep. Now that's not true for everyone, but for most of us it is. Alrighty, taking a look at the wind forecast as well, very similar to what we saw for that tornado forecast and hail. I think the most significant storms are going to fall between Kansas City, Des Moines, and Chicago, Illinois. Denver to Amarillo, we could also see some high wind. I think it'll be pretty isolated, but up to 65, maybe 75 mile per hour wind speeds are definitely possible in this area. Now let's take a look at your timing. I think we're going into timing next. We may talk about flood risk. Let's see. Okay, we're going into flood risk, then we'll bring out your timing. Here's a look at your flood risk for today. Really, the areas that I am watching for very, very closely are right in here, anywhere from Chicago all the way to Kansas City. And then we've got one area up in the northeastern portion of Colorado, and that's another area that we're watching for some heavy rain. So really what we're watching for in this area is we already got rain yesterday, right? You got that rain yesterday, 1, 2, maybe 3 inches in some spots. So the soil is moist. It is full of water. However, we are watching for heavy rainfall again today. So where does that water go? Well, it's going to struggle to go into the soil because it's full of water already. So it's going to go off into the roadways. It's going to go off into the maybe highways or underpasses. So make sure that you are watching for those areas on your way home this evening and if you have any late night plans. Very similar out in Colorado, Kansas, and Nebraska. We are watching for heavy rainfall once again this afternoon and evening. Not everyone getting rain here. However, if you do get rain, it is likely to be those tall towers that have plenty of moisture in them. They will drop all of that water and you could see another flooding risk.